Everyone is shocked, not a little surprised, shocked in that wide-eyed, hand over mouth, wait, did that really just happen kind of way. Because there is one person in this story who never ever changes, the stubborn one, the one who's been the same for years, set in their ways, dug into their pride like it's bedrock. Everybody around them has accepted it. That's just how they are. That's never gonna change. Don't even bother. You know that one person in your life who's like a permanent fixture, right? They were the rock, predictable, stubborn, and completely set in their ways. And then you came along, and somehow, without even trying, you cracked that thing wide open. And now this person is unrecognizable. Like people who have known them for years are looking at them sideways, going, wait, who are you? And what happened to you? And the wildest part, they are shocked too. They are sitting there going, what did I just do? Why do I feel like this? Why can't I stop thinking about this person? So let's get into it, because this one is juicy. Let me give you a metaphor. I like that. Let me give you a metaphor that captures exactly what happened here. And I want you to really sit with it, because once you hear it, you will never look at this situation the same way. I call this the Grand Canyon shift. You already know what the Grand Canyon represents. It's not just a tourist attraction. It's a symbol. It's a symbol of something permanent, something carved in stone over millions of years, something so massive and unchanging that you look at it and think, that's never going anywhere. That's always going to be exactly like this, like that. We all have someone in our life who feels exactly like that Grand Canyon. You've known them your whole life, or at least long enough to know that their patterns are set. You expect them to be the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Their stubbornness, their walls, their refusal to apologize. Most importantly, it all feels geological, immovable, internal. But suddenly you wake up one day and the canyon has become a lush green forest overnight. Not slowly over time, overnight. The unmovable has moved, and everyone who sees it stops dead in their tracks because their brain literally cannot compute what they are witnessing. That's what happened to this person because of you. Because of you. The transformation was so deep, so fundamental, it's actually making people uncomfortable. Yeah, because if the Grand Canyon can turn into a forest, then what else is possible? What other impossible thing might actually happen? That's the energy of this shift. And it all traces back to one moment with you. Okay, so picture this. There is somebody out there, and I want you to really feel this. Somebody who has been quietly watching you, not in a creepy way, more like they can't help it. You know that feeling when you're scrolling and you land on someone's page and you just stay there. That's them with you. They have been looking at you up, checking your stories, maybe even saving a photo of you because there is something about your energy that they cannot shake. And here's the thing. They met a lot of people, like a lot of people. This is someone who's out and about, social active, crosses paths with tons of different personalities. But you stopped them in their tracks for the first time in a long time, maybe ever. They felt something click when they looked at you, almost like deja vu. Deja vu. Like they'd met you before in another life or something. I know that sounds dramatic, but that's the vibe I'm getting, I'm sensing. Now, whoever you are, you have this kind of beauty that people don't forget. I'm not just talking about your looks, although yeah, it's really important as well. You've got that too. I'm talking about a presence, a vibe. People remember your face years later. People you went to school with, people you met once at some random event. They remember you. And it's because there is something underneath the surface, something people pick up on without being able to explain it. Call it an aura, call it energy, call it whatever. But it's real. And people feel it around you. So this person, they have got this almost magnetic pull toward you. And they don't fully understand it themselves. They might even be a little confused by it. Like, why do I keep thinking about this person? Why can't I let this go? And here is where it gets interesting. For a long time, they don't do anything about it. They just watched, quietly, from a distance. Part of them was scared that they'd never cross paths with you again, that this was just one of those ships passing in the night situation. Maybe you guys met briefly, maybe you've known each other a while, but drifted. Either way, there was this fear of what if that's it? What if I never get another shot? But here's the twist. And this is where everything really starts to unravel. This person is not someone who shows their feelings easily. In fact, I'm getting that they are someone who comes across as guarded, maybe even a little intimidating to people who don't know them well. They've got walls up, big ones. The kind of walls that took years to build. And the people closest to them, friends, family, whoever, they all know this person as the one who never lets anyone in, the one who never apologizes, the one who's always convinced they are right, even when deep down everyone, including them, knows they are not. Sound familiar? Yeah. Let's be real. We all have that impossible person we've given up on, the one where you've just accepted that's how they are. That's never gonna change. Don't even bother. That's the one person who never changes we're talking about. They were playing the role everyone else wrote for them. The stubborn one, the tough one, the one who doesn't bend. And they played it so well that nobody, not even them, could imagine them being any other way. So what happened? What happened? Let me set a scene for you. There was a moment, maybe it was an argument, maybe it was just an awkward first impression, but something happened between you two that didn't go smoothly. I'm getting that this person actually approached you in kind of a rough way. Maybe they said something they shouldn't have. Maybe they came off as rude or dismissive. Maybe there was a full-blown disagreement. And here's the thing. They fully expected you to react the way most people react when they are treated like that. Defensive, cold, maybe even cutting them off completely. But you didn't do that. You didn't do that. Instead, and I really want you to sit with this, you responded with grace, with warmth. Even though you had every right to be upset, you showed them something they were not expecting. Kindness. Yeah. Maybe you stayed calm. Maybe you said something gentle instead of snapping back. Maybe you just let it go in a way that felt different from how other people let things go. And that threw them completely off balance. Because this is someone who's used to people either fighting back or backing away scared. You did neither. You just stayed soft, stayed you, and that's when something cracked. I keep getting this image of a door cracking open, slowly, like it hasn't been opened in years, kind of stuff, stiff and rustly, but it's opening. That's their heart right now. But then something shifted, and I don't mean a small tweak, I mean a total system reboot. For the first time in a long time, this person felt something they couldn't explain. Some people might call it a wake-up call. I'm getting that it genuinely shook them, like an, oh no, bad actress. What have I have been doing this whole time? Kind of realization. They went home that night, or maybe it wasn't even that night. Maybe it took a few days to sink in, but at some point it hit them like a wave. They sat there replaying the interactions in their head, and for once, instead of convincing themselves they were right, which, let's be honest, is their go-to move, they couldn't shake this nagging feeling that they messed up bad. And here's what makes this so wild. The people around this person are noticing a shift, like genuinely noticing. Friends, family, co-workers, whoever's close to them, they are looking at this person like, wait a minute, are you okay? You're acting different. Because this is someone who never admits fault, never. You could catch them red-handed and they'd still find a way to make it your fault somehow. It's almost hilarious. That's just who they've been always. But now they are going around telling people, yeah, I was wrong about that. I handled that badly. And the people hearing this are looking at each other like, did somebody swap out our friend for a clone? What happened to you? Everyone is scratching their heads asking, how did they do it? If you saw them on the street today, You wouldn't even recognize their energy. It's like they finally dropped the heavy armor they have been carrying for decades. And when that armor came off, the person underneath was someone nobody had seen in years, maybe ever. I'm getting that this person has actually had a moment people might describe as an ego death. Like their whole identity was wrapped up in being right, in being tough, in never showing weakness. And that identity just cracked, not in a bad way, in a finally, after all these years kind of way. And it's because of you. Just by being who you are, by responding with kindness when you didn't have to, you triggered something in them that nobody else has ever been able to touch. They didn't just turn a new leaf. They planted a whole new forest. This isn't just a glow up. It's a soul level, soul up. Their old self didn't die. It just finally stepped out of the way. And when that old self stepped aside, when what emerged was someone who could finally breathe, finally feel, finally admit that they'd been wrong about so many things for so long. Now here is where it gets even more interesting. This person can't stop thinking about you, like at all. I'm getting that they've looked you up multiple times, today alone, probably more than once. They are replaying that interaction over and over, and every time they do, they feel this mix of guilt and something else, something warmer, almost like a crush. But it's not really about attraction in the typical sense. It's more like they are drawn to whatever it is in you that made them seen, that made them feel safe enough to actually feel something for once. And listen, I think there is a reason for that. People who are like this, who build walls and never let anyone in, who insist they are always right, a lot of time, that's armor. That's protection from something. Maybe they have been hurt before. Maybe they have dealt with people who took advantage of any softness they showed. So they learned to never show it again. And over the years, that armor just became them. Or so everyone thought. But armor like that doesn't disappear because someone yells louder or argues better. It disappears because someone shows up with something the person didn't even know they were missing. Gentleness. Without conditions attached. And that's exactly what you did, even if you didn't realize it at that time. So now this person is sitting there kind of stunned by their own reaction. They are going through this internal back and forth. On one hand, their pride is screaming, don't reach out, don't admit you were wrong, that's not who you are. But on the other hand, there is this newer, softer voice, one that maybe hasn't spoken up in years, saying, you have to make this right, you have to talk to them again. And from what I'm picking up, that second voice is winning. Slowly, but it's winning. Can you imagine that courage, the courage it takes to outgrow everyone's expectations of you? To walk into a room full of people who've known you as one thing your whole life and show up as something completely different. That's what this person is building toward right now. And every step of it is terrifying for them. I think you know that. I'm also getting that they are nervous about reaching out because in their head, you probably think they are a jerk now. Sorry, bad word. They are worried you wrote them off completely, that you don't want anything to do with them. But here's the funny part. I'm getting that you are actually not even that mad. Like, sure, the interaction was awkward or unpleasant in the moment, but you're not the type to hold on to resentment. You processed it, maybe felt a little bothered, and then moved on with your life. Meanwhile, they are the ones stuck on it. They are the ones losing sleep over it. The power dynamic here has completely flipped, and they don't even fully realize it yet. So, what does this look like going forward? I think within the next few days, maybe even sooner, this person is going to reach out to you. And it's going to feel different from how they normally communicate. More careful, more thoughtful. Maybe they will start with something small, like checking in, asking how you are doing, before working their way up to actually addressing what happened. Or maybe they will just come right out and say it. Hey, I've been thinking about what happened and I was wrong. I was wrong and I'm sorry. Either way, expect some kind of acknowledgement, some kind of apology, yeah. And I want you to really notice it when it happens. Because for this particular person, that apology is huge, huge. It's basically them handing you a piece of themselves they don't give to anyone. Now, here is something else I'm picking up. This person might also try to do something to make it up to you, not necessarily in a grand gesture kind of way, but maybe they will offer to help you with something or show up for you in a way they normally would not bother to. It's their way of saying, I see you and I want to be better around you, without having to say those exact words. Because vulnerability is still new territory for them. We're talking about a level of growth that feels almost supernatural, I want to say, supernatural. Like this isn't a kind of change that happens from reading a self-help book or watching a few motivational videos. This is the kind of change that happens when one person authentic present acts like a mirror, showing someone who they could be if they just let go of who they thought they had to be. And here's the bigger picture. The thing I really want you to take away from all of this. You have a gift. You know that. You have a gift. Whether you realize it or not. You have this ability to bring out the best in people. Even people who seem completely closed off, completely set in their ways. You did it without trying, without some big dramatic gesture. Just by being consistently, authentically you. That's rare. That's special. Not everyone can do that. Most people, when faced with someone cold or difficult, either mirror that energy right back or just avoid them altogether. But you didn't do either. You stayed warm, you stayed grounded, and it changed someone in a way that nobody, not their friends, not their family, not anyone who's known them for years, has ever been able to do. So if you're watching this and you're recently had some kind of awkward interaction, some kind of falling out or rough moment with someone, especially someone who has a reputation of being stubborn, hard-headed, never wrong, keep your eyes open, because something is shifting on their end, even if it doesn't look like it from the outside yet. They are sitting with this. Yes, they are processing it. And soon you are going to see a side of them you have never seen before. The walls are coming down, and it's because of you. Stick with me, because what happened next will change how you see everyone in your life. I also want to say, don't be surprised if this person starts acting a little out of character around other things too, not just with you. Once that kind of internal shift happens, it tends to ripple outward. Maybe they will be more patient with people in general. Maybe they will apologize for other things too. Maybe they will just seem lighter, less defensive, like a weight got lifted. And honestly, a lot of that weight was self-imposed. They were carrying around this idea of who they had to be. Tough, unshakable, always right. And it was exhausting, sure, even if they never admitted that to themselves. You gave them permission just by existing to put someone on that down. One more thing before we wrap up. I keep getting this sense that there is a little bit of nervousness on their end about how you will react when they do reach out. So if and when that happens, just know that it probably took a lot for them to get there. This isn't someone who does this lightly. So however you choose to respond, just know the gesture itself means something, even if the delivery is a little awkward or imperfect. People who are not used to being vulnerable often fumble it a bit the first time. That's normal. So yeah, everyone around this person is shocked. They are watching someone who's been the same for years suddenly act completely different. And they don't know why. But you know why. It's because of that one interaction, that one moment you chose kindness instead of conflict. And it cracked something open that's been closed for a long time. It is the Grand Canyon turning into a forest before their eyes, and nobody can figure out how it happened. But you know, you were that rain, you were the seed, you were the warmth that made something grow in the place where nothing had grown for years. Keep an eye out over the next few days. I think you are going to get some kind of message, some kind of apology, some kind of, hey, can we talk moment? And when it comes, just remember, you didn't do anything wrong by being yourself. If anything, being yourself is exactly what caused all of this in the first place. Drop a comment if any of this is resonating with you. I'd love to hear, to read what's going on, because something tells me this messaging hit close to home for more people than just one.